Welcome to Camp Twin Lakes.
Cabin 18 rocks. What you making? Fish. I'm scared anymore. Yeah, I am.
Lift up, look mean, hands up, and go. Yeah!
I caught a fish and the fish was biting the reel, and then I caught the fish.
Camp Twin Lakes is a facility. It's a specially designed facility for chronically ill and disadvantaged children. We saw a need in the community that there were a lot of different camping programs, but they didn't have a place to go. They didn't have a time to go. And they certainly didn't have any place that could serve their special medical needs. And they all had these same issues, and they had a wonderful program that the children and kids and their families felt great about, but they didn't have any place that they could count on every single summer. And so that was the motivation behind the founding of Camp Twin Lakes.
When the parents drop their children off, they know that they're well looked after, both medically and physically. And what our children do is all of the activities. We push them to the limits.
It was so amazing to see these sick kids that come in, they feel sorry for themselves, they have a certain disease, they can't do anything, they're limited this way or that way, they're different from everyone, and they find out over the course of the week that they're here that they really aren't different. They're normal kids, they can do normal things.
For a chronically ill child, I see them as having a big part of their childhood taken away from being in the hospital and from having their treatments and their diagnosis. I think it takes away a huge part of a child's childhood, and being able to be out here for a week, they don't have to worry about their illness or about their treatment because they're around children who are just like them.
We try to do things here that they can globalize into their actual lifestyle and take beyond camp. Particularly ropes course, different things like that, fear of heights, fear of this, fear of that, things not being as easy as they look from the ground. Taking those, life always doesn't throw us the handlebars that we want to play with, but you got to use what we got and make the best of it and grow from those experiences.
Yeah, do you have fun?
It was pretty fun. I wish it could have gone longer.
You realize what's really important in your life, and the simple things or the material things that sometimes we think are very important and take over our lives aren't important at all. It's the experiences you have and the time you spend with awesome kids, and they teach you something new every day. They're great.
What surprised me the most is how much they wanted to be at camp. You know, I've seen, kids that are on chemo that go to chemo in the morning at 6:30, and then at Polar Bear, he's got his IV in his arm, and his counselor's holding the IV, and he's holding his fishing pole. I saw a girl she was actually at cystic fibrosis camp, and her cystic fibrosis was so bad that she had to have an oxygen tank on her, and she strapped it to her back and went up the ropes course and was on it for an entire hour. She said to me, she was like, it's okay that I have this disease and everybody else doesn't, because I know that I'm going to die. She was like, I know that, but at 17 I have lived more than most people live in a lifetime. And she didn't actually make it back, but it stuck with me.
Most of the time you forget they're sick, You're working with them and you forget that there's even anything wrong with them until they come in and you give them all the medicines and the shots and the chemos and that kind of stuff. But these kids are amazing.
I was a camper at Camp Sunshine for 7 years. That's the camp for children who had cancer. It's wonderful because being on this side of it now and influencing the kids and helping them with their journey, that's what we call it, it's their journey. It's amazing because now I realize how much fun they have, and as a camper I looked up to the staff so much. It's such an amazing thing to be able to do that for campers now.
We spend a lot of time training our staff, as well as throughout the year working with the activity areas to adapt them so that it's very seamless once the campers get here. We switch gears a lot from week to week, from dealing, and it's like our infirmary changes so much week to week, from dealing with cancer issues to dealing with dialysis issues.
Our facility, medical facility, has been set up so that all of the groups can use the facility depending on their illness and the treatment that is being provided, from dialysis for kids who have kidney problems to chemotherapy for kids who have cancer.
We know it means a lot to parents to be able to let their loved ones go for a week and know that they're going to get taken care of, maybe even get better medical attention than they would be getting at home, because we have doctors and nurses who are specialists in each particular illness that come down and volunteer for a week at Camp Twin Lakes. We do charge a very minimal amount to the camping programs to come in, because we do think they ought to have a little piece of equity in the programs, but we've never turned away a child who hasn't had the ability to pay, or a program that hadn't had the ability to pay. So we have to continue to fund that every single year.
We have to constantly generate income to make sure that our children can participate in camp and that we don't turn anybody away from the program.
I think this is an amazing place to send your money, and that this is a place that it gets used, and that I'm not just the only person that goes home changed at the end of the week.
I think actually the counselors and the staff that work here get more from the kids than we actually give.
There's children whose lives are changed because of it, who live for this 1 week, whose whole year depends on this week, who pack 5 weeks before camp starts.
So this is the best experience I've ever had, and I'm so thankful to have been given this. I feel like it was put in my life as a gift, and it's beyond me and anybody else out here that we're doing it. It's a gift to the children, and it's a gift to us, and it's amazing.